Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Artsybeegee here, and today I am going to be drawing Barbie. Yay! I mean, how could I not? I literally saw everybody on Instagram drawing her, and it really tempted me to draw her too. And I most definitely had to draw her in her plaid pink dress. I just really thought that dress was just so pretty. I honestly want one for myself. And so I actually saw the Barbie movie 2 days after it came out, and I do have to say this was actually a really good movie, a really entertaining one at that, and I had a lot of good laughs too. I highly recommend anybody who is like a fan of Barbie to go see it. It's really enjoyable, guys. Anyway, moving on to this drawing. At first I was actually thinking about doing this drawing digitally and also drawing her outfits too, her other outfits that she wore for the movie. I know I had actually saw a few artists online do that, but instead I really had the urge to draw on paper. Like, I haven't done a full drawing really on paper in a long while. I've only just, sketched in my sketchbook on paper, but I never actually done like a full drawing in a long while. The whole time that I was trying so hard not to be a perfectionist, because I just know that I just get so frustrated when things don't look equal or perfect. I mean, at this point, I'm so used to digital drawing, you can correct a lot of things, you can liquefy stuff, stabilize your brushes. It's just easier for me to draw digitally than traditionally now. When drawing traditionally anyways, nothing is going to be perfect. You're always going to have, little mistakes here and there. What's the thing that Bob Ross said?
We don't make mistakes. We have happy accidents.
But yeah, that's just the perfectionist in me. I definitely want to do more drawings traditionally. Like, through this entire process, I was honestly enjoying it. And I miss using all of my alcohol markers. I have so much. I have a Hoo-Hoo markers, I have my Copic markers, and then I also have these Art and Fly markers, which those were my starter alcohol markers that I have. I would actually recommend that any beginner artists that want alcohol markers, those will actually be a good start. Also, a Hoo-Hoo would be a good start too. Their markers are really good. Oh yeah, and let me talk about this dress. I was struggling, guys. I was struggling so bad with this dress. I literally could not get the shape right, so I just cut it like you just saw right there and just fixed it off camera. Oh yeah, and then also with these shoes, I really couldn't tell what was on her shoe. I was like, it looked like the shape of a heart. I looked at the doll because I could see the shoes more clearly by looking at what the doll had on. But yeah, they looked like hearts, so I mean, I hope that's correct. I mean, even if it's not, it's pretty cute anyways. Okay, and so for the line art, I really did not want to use my black liners at all because I felt like it would just be too harsh for this drawing. I know with certain drawings, black line art can be pretty harsh. I just really wanted this drawing to just be bright. So I'm doing line art with the colored pencils that I have. I don't really have any other colored multi-liners other than black. So at this point, I pretty much had no choice but to use colored pencils as line art. And I have to say, I honestly love the result at the end. And I don't really know, I felt like I honestly had more control with using the colored pencils rather than using the multi-liners. And also the good thing about using colored pencil as line art is that I was able to easily erase the line art with my electric erasers. So that was a plus. And even if I pressed down really hard with the colored pencils, it pretty much got out a lot of the color off the paper. So I didn't at all have to worry too much about, oh no, is the colored pencil gonna stain my paper? Or, if it's going to really show through when I color in with my alcohol markers. Okay, and so when I was done with this drawing, actually, I had realized that I had forgot her flower bracelet. I really don't know how I forgot her flower bracelet. I was literally looking at a reference the entire time, but I guess, I don't know, I just was too focused on other things, I don't know. When I was finished, I was thinking about adding the bracelet in, but I was too afraid I would mess up the whole entire drawing. That way, I didn't want to risk that. And I'm glad I just left it alone. Better to be safe than sorry. So after I was done doing the hair, I had realized, with her bow, I realized that's on the movie, you can't really see it because it's actually more behind her head. And I think on the doll it's a little bit more lifted, or I think it's also kind of a little bit behind the head too. But I just wanted the bow to show, so I lifted it up, so it can be seen. And I have also seen other artists do the same thing. Alright, so on to the coloring process, my favorite part. I'm going in with this E51, and on camera it actually looks more yellow than it does in real life. I mean, it is actually more of a yellow undertone, so I guess that's why it looks more yellow on camera. And then I'm also going in with the R20 marker. It is more of like a pinkish blush color, and I'm using it for shadows. And then I'm going to be coming in with this R32 for the darker shadows. Now, I don't really have a pink undertone color to use, so that's why I ended up using the E51, but I felt like it all came together once I started using the pinkish markers for the shadows. And to give it more definition or value, whatever you want to call it, I used a BV00 to kind of make more darker areas. And so for the hair, I used YR20, and I didn't want to color the hair actually like yellow. I wanted it to be more of like a natural blonde. And for the shadows, I used YR02. At first, I was not liking this because it was starting to look orange. That is not what I was trying to do. But later, I had fixed that with overlapping and blending. I tried to blend it out with the YR20 to see if that would help. And also, I used Y00 to kind of give it like a yellowish hue, but not too yellow. And then I came in with this V12 to kind of add darker shadows. And now we are coloring the dress. This was really giving me the blues. I was struggling with this dress. I was trying to really get the plaid pattern. And before I get into that, the color that I am using is RV10. So where I really truly messed up here is I think these lines here. I kind of added too much at the top, and it was looking more spaced out at the bottom. I just didn't really want to do it all in one stroke. I kind of feel like that wouldn't really look right, but I'm kind of thinking that I probably should have done that. And when I went in with the darker color, I noticed that it didn't like create like the darker square, like when the colors are overlapping, it creates like a darker color. So I went in with, what is this color that I'm using? Yes, I had went in with R32, I think, for these darker squares. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's not looking right. So I went back in with the RV10, and I was really, really trying to blend them out so they won't look so dark and out of place. And I would have to say, I think it actually helped a bit. I think that really, really saved me because I honestly wanted to quit at this point. I was not liking how it was looking. So yes, and all I did was just repeat the same pattern on the bow, which that part was the easiest part. I really didn't have much to do on that. And for the shoes, I just used the same colors that I used for the dress. And for the eyes, I had used B00, and for the shadow, I used BG01, and for the pupil, I had used B29. I didn't care too much on how the eyes looked with the marker because I'm going to go back over it with colored pencil anyways. So what I'm doing right now is I'm darkening the line art. I'm actually going to try to do a little gradients with the line art, do the darkest in certain areas and then, do lighter colors like towards the middle. And I was actually enjoying this part. It was actually fun. I mean, usually with the line art, I don't really think it's the most fun for me sometimes. Just sometimes. Sometimes I enjoy it, sometimes I don't. I don't know, it can go either way. But I guess using, like colored pencils, I don't know, I just felt like I just had a lot of control. It was just really fun to do, dark colors to light colors. And I just really felt like it just looked so neat. I just love how it came out. I really do. Now the line art for the skin, I didn't want to match the same color with the dress and the bow. I mean, I could have, but I just wanted to just make them two different colors. I just felt like with the skin tone, I felt like it would just be better if I used different colors that matched more to it. Oh my gosh, when I did this part, I was like, oh my gosh, her eyes are really finally popping. Because I wasn't sure about the eyes at first, but after going over it with the colored pencils, it just really truly started coming together, especially with the eyes. When I colored it in with the blue colored pencils, it just looks so much better. And for the line art for the hair, I used a little bit of the same colors I used for the skin because they're so similar in tone. So I went on ahead and did that, and it worked out really well. Okay, so for this part, I tried coloring in the flowers with my gel pens. It worked a little bit, but I kept stopping. I think it's probably because of the texture of the colored pencils. Probably couldn't really go over it really well. So I just ended up just only using the gel pens in the hair for the highlights, which worked out really well, which I'm not surprised because it works really well on markers. And for the rest of the highlights, I remembered I have white paint and I have the right size brush to do tiny details with. I've seen other artists do this for highlights. They will use white paint because sometimes it just makes it easier than using a gel pen. And for the background, I just decided to just make it simple. I was thinking of like drawing all kinds of like accessories, you know, like purses and makeup in the background, but to be honest, I really did not feel like doing all that. And I felt like just something cute and simple would just really look nice. And as this video is coming to a close, I want to thank you all for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe to me. It's for free. And like I said at the beginning, I highly recommend that you guys watch the Barbie movie. Like I said, it's really fun and entertaining. So I will see you all in the next video. Until then, goodbye.